mental health comes up in a really odd way, which is this really stigmatized version of mental health. The stigma that I'm referring to is that mental health care is for those who actually have a mental illness. And I think that is absolutely not true. There are various points in everybody's life where they can benefit from seeing somebody who is in that field. Whether this is a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a social worker, etc. and so forth. And I think that this is something that should be available to all Americans, and I don't know how you would price it or how you figure that out. That's beyond my knowledge. But I think that it's so important that at least a couple of sessions should be free at any given time. I want to challenge somebody who's not on the Breakfast Club, but who I consider to be a friend of the Breakfast Club, which is Agent of Doubt, to talk about what he thinks the benefits of having healthcare be accessible to anybody, essentially at any point, for at least a couple of sessions, as opposed to the costs, or the cost that may be involved. And again, this is more of what he thinks. He doesn't need to be very specific about it unless he decides to be.
So, yeah, Josh wants to know what I think might be the benefits of everybody having free mental health. Yay. I've already talked about this before, where I think that perhaps everyone, just like they have a requirement to either have health insurance or sign up for Medicaid to get that little tax break, there should be a requirement that everyone who does not have, say, a bachelor's degree, some arbitrary level of education, that they should have to check in with a social worker to see what's something that could get them on track to get that goal that they set for themselves. Because there are a lot of services and programs and charities, corporate-sponsored things, and government programs that are out there already that handle a lot of things that people just don't know about. And it's beneficial to everyone that there are a few people, a few social workers that are experts in referring people to where the help is that they need to get. So, as far as free mental health, and Josh thinking that it isn't free for everyone. Well, first of all, the Breakfast Club audience is not just America. It spans over countries that have universal health care, so they already get free mental health. But I'm licensed to do certain types of mental health psychotherapy, right? And there's 5 types of group therapy, right? We got skills building, we've got psychoed, we've got CBT, interpersonal psychotherapy, and support. 2 of those groups, 2 of them, support and skills building, you don't have to have a degree or license to do, and in fact there are groups all over that are free that you just show up to, and you get mental health from each other, and you get support from each other. I'm talking about 12-step groups or non-12-step groups for addiction, bereavement groups, any kind of thing that you've suffered in your childhood. There's a group for, and you can go to it, and if you needed more than that, then you could escalate by, saying, hey, everyone, where could I go for more? Right now, the greatest boon to mental health that I see in the world is meetup.com. Because you can find a group that you want to go to for support and just talk to other people, talk out your issues, because 2 brains are better than 1 when you're solving a problem. Okay? But there's all sorts of mental health that you can get, mental health help that you can get that people just don't realize. Say you've got a problem with addiction and you're afraid of your employer finding out. Maybe it's because you don't understand the law, and what you should do is march your butt down to HR and tell them up front, hey, I have a problem with addiction and I need help. Guess what HR is going to do? They're going to follow the letter of the law and get you some help for your addiction and protect your job. You know, there's so many people that don't understand these basic workings of mental health. Let's say you are seeing red because you found out your girlfriend was cheating on you and you actually think that you might kill somebody else or yourself. There are free walk-in clinics for that. There are hotlines for that. People don't understand that there's so much out there that you can do. You know, what would I change? First of all, I would make it so that emergency rooms were required to have their receptionists help people through the healthcare exchange website. That way, if you did show up at an emergency room with a mental health issue, you would be led through the process of getting to Medicaid if you couldn't afford anything else and whatnot, or you were underinsured. But yeah, in so many ways, mental health care is free. It's just varying levels of it. You know, the basic levels of it that people just don't use and don't realize are there. You know, they go unused, and that's a big problem. So many people would benefit from just a skills building class like how to balance your checkbook or how to read. Here's a free GED class. There are so many services out there that are free. And, you know, when the question is put to me, you know, do I think people would benefit from free services? My answer simply is yes, if they knew they were there. So, yeah. That's my knee-jerk reaction.